Hey everyone, welcome back. This is part 5 of our N8N automation series. Far in this series, we have covered in the part 1, we set up our N8N locally, then we build our first workflow. In the part 3, we set up webhooks and HTTP APIs, and in the part 4, we have a setup of real DevOps automation using GitHub and Slack. So, in this video, we will talk about something even more important. So, how to make workflows reliable and production ready. The very first question that is coming to mind is why error handling matters. So, in real world systems, failures are normal. APIs go down, tokens expire, networks fail, and permissions change. These are the a few examples which can lead to disruption of any service. The difference between a beginner workflow and a production workflow is how failures are handled. So today we will learn how N8N handles errors, how to retry failed nodes, how to avoid breaking entire workflows, and how DevOps teams monitor failures. These are the few things we try to answer the questions. Understanding failures in N8N. So let's start with a simple example. So I will intentionally break the Slack node, maybe by using a wrong channel or invalid credentials. So now when I trigger the workflow, notice what happens. The workflow execution fails and it in clearly marks it as failed, and we see exactly which node failed and why. This visibility is extremely powerful. So let's do that. So if we open our the last workflow, this is my last workflow. So let's for this workflow, what we do, we can change the client ID from remove double nine from here and connect to my account, and invalid it is showing, and just so you can see we have removed that double nine and it is there. So let's try to publish this thing. So once it is published, let's try to execute the workflow by sending certain request. Request can be sent by uploading a file to the repository. So let's upload a file to the repository using our code editor. So we will be just adding the another file, test file 4.txt. So this is test file 4.txt. What it is? This is test file 4.txt. So here we are testing broken node. We save this thing. We generate a commit message, and then we commit and push. So now we have pushed this thing. Most probably execution must have triggered. Okay, it got succeeded. Let's see why. If the data is not updated, it might be the reason it got succeeded. And okay, if so our Slack account credentials were not edited, so I think that is the reason. So let's try to update certain other things we can, because if it is not using properly, it will be our connection is successful, and somehow this is my client ID which I am using 3399, and this is the client secret. So if I regenerate it, let me show, this is my client secret CBA 6, CBA 6, which is generated. From the backend, I will be regenerating the secret. Okay. So most probably, if the things are regenerated, let me show this secret. It has changed. What I was using here, if it is failing, so it could be the culprit why it is failing. So if I just show this once again, this is the one which is D06. I think is regenerated or not. Let me regenerate it once again. Okay. So now let's try to trigger the workflow again. So we just update a fourth file. Commit and push. So we are taking the example of expired token, and let's see whether our automation is broken or not. Still it is getting success. Okay, still somehow it is getting success. Let me try once again. We try to test the connection. Okay, connection is getting successful. Mm, though we have regenerated our API, still it is working. Okay, so we try, we can't make it fail on intentionally, but we so let's assume that this has a failed node. So what it looks like, it will be stopping at that point. So if the execution is failed, we can view the what is the failed reason, and that the node that is failed will have the exact error message, input and output data as we know that, and the execution timeline. So there is no intention reason to fail it somehow. If it is not able to fail, we can we can't fail it intentionally, because there are no such parameters which we can test it. But what the action we can do? So continue on fail when failure is okay. So that is the thing that we can do. So now let's talk about continue on fail. Open the Slack node and go to the settings. So this is the retry on fail, which is on. And so once we open it on error, what are the other things that even if what we can do? So even if this node fails, the workflows continues execution. This should be what we can have for. So this would be the perfect example for notification, logging, and optional integrations also. So we should not stop the workflow. Uh, so we don't want entire pipeline to fail just because the Slack is down. So what we can do, we can have retry on failure settings that have the maximum 3 times of retry, and if it is retrying, uh, and if it is it works on the second attempt, it will work, else it will go into the error state still. So why retries are important, that we try to understand. Most real world failures are temporary. Retries help you recover automatically without human intervention. This one setting done can save you from lot of alert and panic. So so this is one of the thing that we can have. Okay. So on error, so what we can do on error, we can either stop the workflow, continue, or continue using error output that we can use. So these are the few settings that we can have to make the workflow more robust. So after the error trigger, a Slack, we can integrate the Slack email node also. This sends a clean action, like a alert to your operation teams. So why error workflows are powerful? So this pattern is used everywhere actually. So whether it is in the CI/CD pipelines or in the monitoring systems or in the incident management, instead of like the say silent failures, we can get the instant visibility of our issues. So with the execution history, as we have seen, what is the execution history? Like we can filter the failed executions, see the duration, identify the patterns, and we can debug it. So what are the production best practices we can have? So you can see on success and error as the separate nodes, we can have it accordingly. So some best practices what we can have is workflow design. So keep workflow small and focused. That is one of the thing. Avoid one giant workflow doing everything that we can do. Node naming, rename the nodes clearly so we understand what is the node functionality is doing. So okay, data handling part. So data handling part, always we clean the data using the set nodes or certain function nodes. Don't pass any huge raw payloads because it will just cause the confusion. Security, never hardcode tokens, always use credentials and give minimum required permissions. So these are the few things in the security related. Reliability, in the reliability we can have retries, error triggers, and monitor failures. These are the few things we can have. So common mistakes to avoid, here is some mistakes I see very often, which is something like no error handling in the workflows that we are doing. Some of our workflows is silently failing. We should know that someone is using hard-coded secrets that is should be resolved. Ignoring execution logs, any execution logs are generating should be tracked and observed clearly. And assuming workflows will never fail, this is wrong assumption. We should always take care and always not it go into the mood that workflow will always work 100%, because in production systems these assumptions will break the systems. So in a recap, what we have learned, so we have learned how N8N handles failures. So as we know, a respective node can handle the failures, how retry failed nodes are there, then how we continue to the workflow safely, how to create error alerts that we can see, and some we can design production ready workflows according like in the production ready, what I mean here is a retry mechanism. We introduce certain reliability parameters that makes our workflow more reliable and robust. So this is the DevOps mindset, and what's next we can expect. So in the next part of this series we will move into the production deployment, persistent storage, running N8N like a real service. This is where everything comes together. So if this video helped you, just do like, subscribe, and comment in the section if you have any doubts. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.